Hello, my name is Wendy Smith, and I'm delighted to share information about the Life Planning Workshop Series offered by Home of Guiding Hands. This is a program that I facilitate to help families and others that are involved in their child's life to really have a clearer sense of what the future may bring. Often this is a challenge for families. The Life Planning Workshops provide an opportunity for families to consider the optimal future for their loved one with disabilities and what steps are needed to achieve it. Often this is something that families give very little thought to in the day-to-day. We can lead very busy lives. There can be a lot of distractions. There can be a lot of decisions that seem much more urgent. But the reality is that families are always considering and worried about and thinking about what is going to come in the future. And without some forethought, it can always feel like it's an emergency when a decision has to be made. The life planning workshops provide that opportunity to take a breath, to take a pause, and really consider, what does that optimal future look like? What does it include? What's necessary? What kinds of supports, activities, programs are essential? Right now, as a parent, I'm in charge of making sure all of that is available. But who's going to continue to do it if I'm not around? This is what wakes parents up at 3 o'clock in the morning. In the life planning workshops, the workshops are held virtually in small groups every other week. This is structured this way for a couple of reasons. The virtual meetings mean that families don't have to worry about a commute. There's no central meeting location. They don't have to consider traffic patterns. They also don't have to set up childcare. Families can participate from the comfort of their home, from a laptop, from a phone. They're able to participate wherever they happen to be. The meetings are recorded because if families are participating from home, we all know, kids know that mom's around. They don't necessarily stop and leave her alone. So we want to give them an opportunity to review the recordings, catch up on anything that they may have missed. An additional benefit of having recordings of the meeting is that families can then share it with other family members. They can use it with their child with disabilities who may not be able to tolerate sitting in front of a screen for 2 to 2.5 hours, but will certainly watch a 10 to 15-minute segment about a specific discussion or activity and be able to participate and identify their preferences, their opinions, their input to what is a plan for their life. Every other week schedule of meetings means that families have time to process the concepts. We discuss some pretty deep topics, and families need time to consider, how does this apply to our situation? What are our resources? Who do I need to talk to about the things that we're considering? If you are meeting too frequently, it's hard to have that time. So we allow the time by meeting every other week. And there's also the opportunity to build resources and connections and relationships. The meetings are always with the same individuals. Once parents are in a group together, they remain in a group together. The recording is only shared with the individuals in that group, and they have a chance to find common ground, to share ideas, to reach out to each other. And at the end of the workshop series, families are given the opportunity to consent to having their personal information shared with other members of the group so they can continue and maintain those relationships after they've been established. Part of the workshop process is that families are given a document called a life plan or letter of intent. It's a template for them to fill out bit by bit through the workshop series. Each section of the life plan is based on the topic that we identify during the workshop. At the end of the workshop, families will have a completed document that allows them to do quite a few things, but the materials are entirely confidential. They are never collected. They are never sent in. They are not shared with anyone that the family does not want them to be shared with. But having that completed document really increases families' peace of mind. It gives them a place to share detailed information, the specifics of how to support an individual with certain kinds of interactions, certain kinds of self-care activities, certain kinds of decision-making processes. All of the detail necessary can be put in one location. It provides an opportunity for families to really identify what are the non-negotiables. This is something that most families are really nebulous about what exactly is non-negotiable. They have preferences, they can easily identify those, but what are the true factors that dictate which services are going to be successful versus the ones that are just going to fall apart? So identifying those non-negotiables really gives families the ability to have criteria to evaluate all future decisions. We know that life is not static. Services are always changing. What exists today may no longer exist in 15 years. Something that has not even been dreamt of may be the best option in 10 years. So having the opportunity to say, this is what I consider most important. This is what I'm going to ask questions about. These are the things that I'm going to probe before I make a decision, takes away the sense of crisis in decision making for families, which is absolutely a benefit of participating in the Life Planning Workshop series. They can have clear goals and wishes. They know the direction they're trying to travel. It lets them have better conversations with service coordinators, with providers, with other family members. The written materials can be used as a training resource for other caregivers. And essentially, just participating and clarifying the thought process means that families are having an opportunity to improve the communication with their child's team, at the school, at the regional center, at an adult program, with the extended family. Just having conversations about who is going to provide what kind of support, what's necessary, what would be helpful. The increased communication essentially makes such a difference to the peace of mind for families who participate in the Life Planning Workshop series. The Life Planning Workshops are funded by Regional Center. We are rendered by San Diego Regional Center. The process generally requires an IPP addendum. Families are encouraged to allow time for service coordinators to create the purchase of service. If you wish more information about the materials in the website or to see the registration links, please visit our website, lifeplanninghelp.org, or there is a link from our agency website, guidinghands.org. We do also accept private pay and self-determination funding for the workshop series. Thank you for allowing me time to share a little bit of an overview about the Life Planning Workshops.